Today I'm showing you my favourite meal prep components to prepare for the week ahead, but make cooking nutritious and delicious food quicker and easier. Instead of cooking dishes that get boring by day 3, you want to create components that can be used in as many dishes as possible. This could be my batch of multigrains that keep you fueled through the day, a dressing that turns any leaf or kale into something totally craveable, or the aromatic base to a curry packed into one ice cube. Real quick, my name is George, I've been cooking since I was 12, and I post a new cooking video every week, so be sure to subscribe so you're kept up to date, and let's get started. The first component I love to meal prep for the week ahead is a big batch of multigrains. I cook this in one pan to save on washing up and time. Let me show you how it's done. When cooking multiple different grains, all with different cooking times, I prefer to use the non-absorption method. And by that, I mean we're going to bring a large pan of salted water to a boil. We're then going to add in our grains one by one, depending on how long they take to cook. Rather than trying to work out the exact quantity of water needed for all these grains, we'll just strain it at the end. First things first, we're going to add a generous, maybe teaspoon of salt to the water. Want to really season these grains from within. I'm going to add some really simple aromatics to this water, starting with some rosemary and some white onion. You can add any aromatics that you want though. Now I know I said this was going to be a multi-grain mix, but we're actually going to start with some lovely Adzuki beans, which is quite a small bean, so it doesn't take a crazy amount of time to cook. I'm going to boil these beans for 10 minutes to remove any toxins, and then we'll simmer them for a further 10 minutes before adding in our wild rice. I'll just give this a quick skim to remove any sort of scum from the beans. Just remove the sort of frothy bits on the top. Next to go in, I've got some lovely wild rice, which is really lovely and chewy and hearty. Then some pearl barley, also really nice and chewy and nutty. Both quite hard grains, so they're going to take a decent while to cook. And then we'll just bring that to a simmer again and cook it for about 10 minutes before we add our brown rice. So it's been a total of 30 minutes now, and I'm going to add in the brown rice. I've given the brown rice about 20 minutes, and I'm now going to add in the quinoa. This is the final grain, and we'll cook it for about 12 to 15 minutes. And then we'll have the most amazing, nutritious mix of grains and beans. So this is just finishing up now. It's actually absorbed most of the water, so I nearly actually got it right with the water, which is funny. That wasn't the plan. I was just going to strain it at the end. Most of the water has drained off now, but I'm still going to just put it into the sieve. Wow, there's a lot. Holy moly. Let that drain. So there is my multi-grain mix ready for the week. If you want it slightly less starchy, you can give it a little rinse in water. Personally, I'm fine with it like this. Let's give this a try. Super delicious. So that is pretty perfect for me. It's nutty, it's moorish. You get lovely chew from the wild rice and the pearl barley. So much better than just like plain white rice or quinoa. I was planning on filming this video a few days ago, so the Adzuki beans have been soaking for like 3 days, so they're very soft, but still really tasty. You can choose your own grains and beans. Just make sure to stagger the cooking times so that they all cook fairly evenly. Personally, I don't mind if some are a little bit overcooked or undercooked. It just adds a nice bit of texture really. If you're loving my recipes and want to get them in PDF form, scan this QR code and join the Earthy Goodness Kitchen community, and I'll see you there. The next recipe is whipped tofu, and it is incredibly versatile. You can use it to make high protein waffles, pancakes, a hearty vegan shakshuka. You can make smoothies, chocolate mousse, breakfast muffins, so many different dishes. I've done a whole video about whipped tofu, and I'll link it in the video description. Personally, if I don't have a salad dressing ready, then I'm probably not going to eat any salad. So meal prepping at least one salad dressing is definitely an essential for me. As well as using salad dressings on leaves, it's also great on roasted veg, dark leafy greens like kale or spring greens, or you can drizzle it over soup. I've got a favorite dressing at the moment. It's a caramelized apple and garlic dressing. Let me show you how to make it. So we'll just start with one apple. You can leave the skin on, and you can use any variety of apple that you like. We're just going to remove the seeds. And then I like to cut each quarter into halves so that we have 8 total pieces of apple. And that's going to maximize our chances for caramelization. I've got this pan over a medium-high heat, and I'm adding about a tablespoon of olive oil. Then once that oil is hot, you can add in your apple. Just place it flesh side down, and we're going to leave that to get really nice and caramelized. Also adding in 4 garlic cloves. They are fairly small. If you've got big ones, then I'll probably only add 2. And just leave them untouched to get lovely and golden and caramelized. We'll turn them in about 3 to 4 minutes. Getting some good color on the apple now. Garlic as well, it's lovely and caramelized. You want to be careful not to burn the garlic, so I'll probably remove that in about 1 minute. So I'm happy with the color I've got in those apples. I'm going to throw in some fresh thyme leaves now just for the last few seconds. So we'll get our beautifully caramelized apple into the blender with the thyme. Also, of course, going to add those lovely caramelized garlic cloves. Then for acidity, you can either do apple cider vinegar, which is what I'm going to do, or you can do some lemon juice. Then some Dijon mustard. I'm just going to do a light grating of nutmeg as well. I think that's going to be really nice and wintry and warming. And then a good couple of tablespoons of olive oil, or any oil of your choice. Or you can keep it oil-free and add some water. I will add a little splash of water as well, actually, just to loosen it up. And then a little pinch of salt and some black pepper. And then just blend that until beautifully smooth. Such a nice dressing, really lovely and creamy. Perfect for some kale, roasted veg, or a nice winter salad. Let's give it a quick taste. Oh, that's good. It's sweet, it's tangy, there's a nice bit of spice coming from the Dijon and the nutmeg, and then there's a lovely bit of freshness and sharpness from the apple cider vinegar. Absolutely delicious. If you want some more salad dressing recipes, I did a video not that long ago, and I'll link it in the description box, but definitely try this one out first. One of the longest steps of cooking a delicious meal is cooking down the aromatics. And for me, skipping this step is not an option. So instead, you can cook down a few different aromatic bases and freeze them ready for the week ahead. Choose your favorite cuisines and create aromatic bases accordingly. I'll show you a few to get started. Our first flavor base is going to be the Italian sofrito, which is simply onion, celery, and carrot. And we'll just saute this in olive oil until softened and translucent. This is a great base for risottos, pasta sauces, or just generally any dish, to be honest. It's a nice sort of starting flavor base. So I've got these very handy mega ice cube trays. I believe they're actually made for making ice cubes for like whiskey and that sort of thing, so that they don't melt too quickly. But we're going to be using it for something slightly healthier, and we're going to be adding in our sofrito. And I will just top them up with a little bit of oil so that they come out of the molds nice and easily, and just sort of compact them down a little bit as well. Next, we've got the Holy Trinity, perfect in Cajun cooking, and this is onion, celery, and green bell pepper. And this is a great start to some beans or a hearty stew. And once again, we're going to cook this until softened, not completely soft, leave a little bit of bite in there. And you should be able to see what they are, but I also like to add a label just so that I know for sure. And if you're interested in these large ice cube trays, I'll put a link in the description box. And finally, we've got an Indian style flavor base, which starts with onion, ginger, garlic, and chili. And this is a great way to start any dal or curry. It's going to add lots of aromatic, punchy flavor. And they'll go straight in the freezer, ready for when I need a quick shortcut during the week. Last but not least is a simple, hearty bean salad. This could be as simple as tossing some beans with some onions, some herbs, and a good glug of olive oil. In summer, I love making a Mexican style salad with lots of coriander, spices, lime juice, and all that good stuff. Now that it's winter, I love to make these warming and smoky Spanish style butter beans. This is a really simple salad, but full of bold flavors. We'll start with our butter beans, and then we're going to add some finely chopped red onion. You could also make this a warm salad and cook the ingredients. Then we're going in with some jarred roast red pepper, fresh parsley or any herb of your choice, a little dried oregano. Of course, we're going to add in some smoked paprika, a touch of ground cumin. Optionally, we're just going to add a little bit of granulated garlic. I'm then going to add some red wine vinegar. Ideally, I would add in some sherry vinegar. That's a bit more traditional in Spanish cuisine. And I want this to be really punchy, so I'm adding lemon juice as well. And then of course, a really nice glug of extra virgin olive oil. Or leave it out if you want it to be oil-free. Good pinch of sea salt. Make sure you grind it for your fingers so it gets a bit finer. And a really nice crack of black pepper. And then just mix that all through. This is such a great bean salad to have in the fridge. You can add it to your lunches, your dinners. You can have it with roast veg. You can heat it up if you want to. You can add it into other salads, maybe a leafy salad you could throw it into. So many ways to use it, and it's just really delicious. God, that's good. Really love the fresh and punchy flavors, and it's only going to get better as it marinates in the fridge. Thank you so much for watching. There's one more component I love to prep for the week ahead, and that is these hearty stewed lentils. I did a video all about them, and you can check it out here.